Okay.
Just wait a minute. Okay, so the next topic that we have to cover for school exam is probability. Okay, so first of all, what is the definition? So probability gives us a measure of likelihood that something will occur. That something will occur. So what is probability? It is the measure of likelihood that something is going to happen. It is not the confirmation, it is just the measurement of chances of happening of some event, right? There are some terms which are related to the chapter. First, we need to understand all those terms. First term is experiment. Experiment. You will hear this term a lot in this chapter. What is experiment? In terms of probability, it is an action resulting in two or more well-defined outcomes. Two or more well-defined outcomes. Okay, example is tossing a coin. Now, why tossing a coin is considered an experiment? Because when you toss a coin, there are two possible outcomes, either head or tail, right? So that is why it is an experiment. Simply then some other experiment like throwing a die. Why throwing a die is an experiment? Because it results in six well-defined outcomes. When you throw a die, the number on the top face can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Okay, so it results in 6 outcomes. So that is why it is also an experiment. Now second is sample space. a set S that consists of all possible outcomes of a random experiment. Is called sample space. Like for example, when you throw a die, okay, so this is the experiment conducted. What is the sample space? It is the set S which consists all the possible outcomes of this experiment. Okay. Similarly, tossing a coin 2 times. If you have to make the sample space, it will be you can get head on both times, or you can get head first and then tail first, or head, or both times you can get tail, right? So this is the sample space as a result of the experiment, which is tossing a coin 2 times. Then third one is event. What is event? Event is defined as defined as an occurrence or situation, and mathematically it is subset of sample space. Now you already know what is a subset. Okay, so for example, let us say we are throwing a die. Suppose this is the experiment. Try to understand every term here. Okay, this is the experiment. What is the sample space? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now as I said, event is a subset of sample space, so I am going to make an event here. Okay, it can be represented by any capital alphabet, and the event is getting even number. Okay, so if this is the experiment, this is the sample space, and event is subset of sample space. So what will be event A here? It will be 2 4 and 6, right? So what is 2 4 and 6? 2 4 and 6 is a subset of sample space, right? Subset means a smaller set, or it can have maximum all the elements of the given set. So why this is event? Why getting number even number is an event? Because you are getting 3 elements out of these 6, that is why. Okay, so till now we have learned 3 definitions. One is experiment, then sample space, then event. So there are some terms like phi. Phi is called impossible event. For 2 particular events we use these alphabets. Okay, phi for impossible event, and S is sure event. Sure event, S is actually sample space. So if in any event you get the whole sample space, that is going to be a sure event. And if you do not get any element of the sample space, it is impossible event. For example, you can make it very easily. Suppose you are tossing a coin. Okay, suppose this is the experiment, and so what will be the sample space? H comma t. Now suppose you are making an event like getting even number only, then it is very obvious that it is going to be an impossible event. Why? Because you are tossing a coin, so you will get head and tail, not any number, right? So if such a event is made, then it is going to be an impossible event. Okay, then next is complement of an event. Those who know what is complement of set, they will understand this very easily. The set of all outcomes which are in sample space S. but not in A is called complement of A. It's called complement of A. And is denoted by, you studied complement of a set, right? So it is similar. It's denoted by A bar or A, C or not A. So we can take one example here. Suppose I will take the same example, throwing a die. Sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suppose there is already an event A which is getting even number, right? Getting even number. If this is an event, then you are going to write 2, 4, 6 here. So now if someone asks what is A bar or AC, okay, what is A bar or AC? It is going to be 1, 3 and 5. Okay, fine. So sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set A is 2, 4, 6. A bar is 1, 3, 5. Why? In A bar you will get all the elements of sample space which are not in A. So in sample space we have 1 to 6. In set A we have 2, 4, 6. So what you will get in A bar? All the odd numbers. So it will be 1, 3 and 5. This is complement of event. Now comes 3.
Can you scroll up?
Yeah. All right. So next is mutually exclusive events. Now the three important definitions are coming. One is mutually exclusive events, second is exhaustive events, and then equally likely events. Okay, so listen very carefully. Questions will be asked on these three. So two events are said to be mutually exclusive. Okay, are said to be mutually exclusive if their intersection is phi. Simple. I have given you the simplest of the definition. Okay, two events are mutually exclusive if their intersection is phi. So that is A intersection B is phi. And later on you will come to know that if there is no element in A intersection B, its probability will be 0. Okay, because there is this formula everybody knows, favorable outcome upon total number of outcome. So if there is no intersection in A and B, so that means number of elements in A intersection B will be 0, right? And that is why its probability will be 0. Okay, so two events are said to be mutually exclusive if their intersection is phi. Example. Now I am taking some random example. Okay, suppose I have this sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, some random sample space resulting as outcome of some experiment. Now suppose I have this event A 1, 3, 5. B event is 1, 3, 5, 7, and then there is event C. Okay, there is this event C 2, 4, 6. Okay, now try to understand. A and B are not mutually exclusive, and the reason is A intersection B is 1, 3. There is some intersection, that is why. And when two or more events are said to be mutually exclusive, if their intersection is phi, that means they have no intersection at all. Now B and C are mutually exclusive, right? As B intersection C is phi. Similarly, A intersection C is also phi. As you can see, there is no intersection in A and C as well. Okay, so I hope you get it. It's very simple. Two events are mutually exclusive if they have no intersection at all. Simple. Then comes equally likely events. Equally likely events. So events are said to be equally likely if each event is as likely to occur as any other event. What is the meaning of this? As likely to occur as any other event? Suppose you toss a coin. So getting a head or a tail are equally likely events. Because when you toss a coin, either you will get head or you get a tail. So both of them have chances equal to 50%. Okay, each having equal chances of coming. That is why this is called equally likely. Then what else? Suppose throwing a die. So getting 1 or 2 or 3, 4 or 5 or 6 are equally likely events. Okay, each will have 1 by 6 chances of coming. Each will have 1 by 6 chances, right? So this is equally likely. Then last is, then we will solve some questions where you will be required to categorize the events in mutually exclusive, equally likely and exhaustive. Okay, so some examples will also be following this. Last is exhaustive events. Two or more events are said to be exhaustive. This definition is also simple. Are said to be exhaustive if their union is sample space. If their union, you all know how to take union of sets. If their union equals sample space. Okay, take any random example. Suppose there is this sample space. Let us say this is some sample space. Suppose you have event A as 1 2, then event B is having 4 and 5, and event C, there is third event C, which has 4 5 and 6 as its sample points. So if I ask what is A union B union C, so we take union of all these elements, so it will be 1 2 4 5 6, which will be equal to sample space only. This means A B C are exhaustive events. Okay, so three important definitions: mutually exclusive when intersection is phi, exhaustive when union is sample space, mutually exclusive when intersection is phi, and equally likely when the events have equal chances of coming. Okay, each event is equally likely as other. So now I'm going to take some example where you have to categorize the events.
Scroll up a bit, sir.
Yeah.
Done, sir.
Okay. So now see what I'm going to do. We are going to solve some questions where we will categorize the events in these three categories. So this will be the experiment. This will be the event. And you have to tell whether the events are mutually exclusive or not. Are they equally likely? Or they are exhaustive or not? So you have to write yes or no. Okay. So suppose experiment is throwing a die. And there are two events. One is throwing odd face. And second event is throwing composite face. And you have to categorize the events in these categories. Solve it, and if anyone knows the answer, let me know. Yes, Davis, can you tell me, are they mutually exclusive or not? Any one of you?
What is in the composite phase?
Sorry?
What is composite phase of a die?
Composite face means composite number, no? What you get on the dice? You get any of the 6 numbers from 1 to 6. So what are odd numbers? What are composite numbers? That is the meaning of face here, okay? Face means the top face.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. Sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Then what you will write in event A? Event A is 1, 3, 5. And in B, event B, you are going to write 4 and 6. These are the composite numbers. Now, first of all, are they mutually exclusive? Yes. No intersection. 1, 3, 5, 4, 6. No intersection. Equally likely? No. Who will tell me why they are not equally likely? Why events A and B are not equally likely? Because event A has 3 sample points in their favor. Event A has 3 sample points while event B has only 2 sample points. So which is more likely to happen? Event A, because of the greater number of sample points, that is why. Are they exhaustive? No. Because their union is not sample space, 2 is missing. If you will take the union, it will be 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. What about 2? So are they exhaustive? No. Like this you have to write. Now try this next question. Throwing a pair of dice. Once again, there are these two events. One is throwing a doublet. B is throwing a total of 10 or more.
It is 18 or 11.
Sorry? Want to give any answer?
So will you be doing this chapter the whole or the till NCRT level only?
What, this thing?
So yeah, like probability.
This is for NCRT.
Then what about how many chapters are remaining normally to complete the 11th standard? So not NCRT, I'm talking normally.
Only coordinate geometry is remaining.
Okay, sir.
See, when we throw a pair of dice, we get these 36 outcomes. From 1 1 to 6 6, you have these 36 outcomes, right? Now, throwing a doublet, what you will get doublet means when both the numbers on the two dices are same. This is doublet, okay? So you will get these 4 outcomes, sorry, 6 outcomes. And what is the meaning of throwing a total of 10 or more? Total of 10 means sum. So we start with sum 10. It can be obtained in these 3 ways. These are the outcomes corresponding to sum 10, then 11. 11 we have only 2, 5 6 and 6 5. For 12 we have only one outcome, 6 6. Now the question is, are they mutually exclusive? No, because you can see that there are two sample points which are common, 5 5 and 6 6. So intersection is there, so they are not mutually exclusive. Are they equally likely? Yes. Why? Because both of them have equal number of favorable sample points. In set A or event A, we have 6 sample points. In event B as well, we have 6 sample points. Are they exhaustive? No, because if we will take union of A and B, it is not going to be equal to sample space, that is clear. In sample space we have 36 outcomes. Okay, in A and B there will be only 10, not 12, because 5 5 and 6 6 are common. Okay, so is their union equal to sample space? No. So they are not exhaustive. Okay. Now third and last example on this. This is based on deck of playing cards. Okay. So generally you see questions on coins or dices or cards, year, ordinary, a leap year, number of Sundays, like this. Okay, so these are very common questions in probability. So in this, if we make these events A and B, where A is getting a heart, okay, and B is getting a face card. Now what will be your answers?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So they won't be mutually exclusive, right?
That means you are saying there will be no intersection. I hope you get it. What is the meaning of heart
No,
and
sir.
what?
There will be intersection.
Yeah, there will be intersection, right? So they are not mutually exclusive, right? They have some intersection.
Yes, sir.
Not equally like.
Not equally likely, that is also correct. And they are not exhaustive as well. See, I hope all of you have seen the deck of playing cards. There are 52 cards in all, right? Out of these 52 cards, 26 are black, 26 are red. Black cards are of two types, club and spade. And red are heart and diamond. So 13 clubs, 13 spade, 13 cards are of heart and 13 are of diamond. Okay. What are the denominations? Denomination means what is written on the cards. Denominations are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is no 11. We have jack, queen, king and aces, right? So these are 13 in all. So such 13 cards are present in club as well as spade, heart and diamond. Now out of these, if you will observe jack, queen and king, they make some faces. Okay, jack has a face, queen, king all have faces. Okay, so they are called face cards. So since in each actually all these four are called suits. Okay, so how many suits are there? Four. They are club, spade, heart and diamond. Each suit has 13 cards and their denomination is 2, 3, 4 and up to ace. Okay, so each suit has 3 face cards. So total face cards are 12. Why? Because there will be 3 face cards in club, 3 face cards in spade, 3 face cards in heart and 3 face cards in diamond. Okay, so if we have a look at this question now, so are they equally likely? Answer is no. They are not equally likely. Why? Because in heart there are 13 cards and face cards how many? 12. Okay, So face cards are 12, hearts are 13. So they do not have same number of sample points, so not equally likely. They are not mutually exclusive because they have intersection. What is intersection? This. There will be 3 face cards which will be belonging to suit of hearts. Okay, so 3 cards are there in intersection. That is the intersection B. So that is why they are not mutually exclusive, and obviously they are not exhaustive. Why? Because you are having 13 cards in heart and 12 in face card. Okay, so in any way their union is not going to be the sample space. What is sample space? The whole deck of cards. So obviously they are not exhaustive events. So this is the case where they are not mutually exclusive, neither they are equally likely nor exhaustive. Okay, so I hope this example is clear to you. So I'm giving a question. Okay, you are supposed to write the sample space for this question. Okay, a coin is tossed. If it shows head, we draw a ball from a bag consisting of 3 blue, 3 different blue and 4 different white balls and 4 different white balls. And if it shows tail, so these blue and white balls you can name them like for blue balls you can take the name b1, b2, b3, and for white balls you can name them as w1, w2, w3, w4. All right, because you have to write the sample space, that is why. And if it shows tail, we throw a die. So this is the whole experiment. Now you have to write the sample space corresponding to it. Write the sample space. Just write it in your copy and see. When I write, you just see whether you have written it correctly or not. In sample space, you write all the sample points, right? Whatever be the situation, all the sample points will be coming here. So can anyone tell me?
So HB1.
Just a minute, just a minute. Let I will write with along with you. Just a minute. Okay, so you are saying that if head comes, okay, we draw a ball and so you start picking a ball. Yeah, now you can start. HB1.
HB2, HB3.
Right. Then what else?
HW1, HW2, HW3, HW4.
That's correct. Anything else?
T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6.
Very good. So this is the sample space. Because see, understand the whole experiment. First, head is there. So if head is there, what we are doing? We are picking a ball from a bag, and that bag consists of 3 blue balls, and I told you you can name them as B1, B2, B3, and 4 different white balls. So I hope you understand these sample points, right? With H, these are the combinations. But instead of head, if you are getting tail on tossing the coin, no, you are supposed to throw a die, and in that case, what are the outcomes? You throw a die. So when you are having a tail, what will be the next thing? After getting a tail, you are throwing a die. So either you can get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Okay. So this is the sample space of this whole experiment. So questions can be asked where they will ask you to write the sample space also. See, whatever we study in NCERT, that is the base of every chapter that we are preparing for any level. Okay, whether it is JEE main or advanced. Okay, so nothing is I mean, there's nothing which is not of any use. Okay, this is the base. Then if you know what are mutually exclusive events, what are exhaustive, what are equally likely, then we will increase some levels, some more results will be added, some theorems will be added, and then it will become a question of JEE main, right? Or JEE advanced. So whatever we are studying, you go through all the things properly. Okay, because school exams are equally important, and if you score good in a school exam, it will give you some confidence. Okay, and then you can prepare for your JEE main as well. Okay, whatever we are teaching, you follow that order, that is sufficient for you. Okay, nothing else. You need not to worry about anything else, that you leave it to us only. Now we go into the numerical aspect of the chapter, and it will start with the classical definition of probability. It is the same definition that you studied in class 10th. So if there are, but you may not be knowing that you are using all this information, because in class 10th you are not studying mutually exclusive, event and exhaustive and all this, but you are using it unknowingly, because the complete information is like this: if there are n mutually exclusive, equally likely and exhaustive events, out of which m are favorable to happening of event E, happening of event A, then probability of happening of A then probability of happening of A denoted by PA is given by PA equals favorable outcomes upon total outcomes. So there was this whole chapter in class 10 where you solved all the questions based on this formula only. Total outcomes equals how much? M by N. This is the formula. But you know, when we use this formula, favorable upon total, okay, at that time those total outcomes should be mutually exclusive, equally likely and exhaustive. This is important. Only then this formula is applicable. So now you know what is the meaning of P bracket. It is probability of occurring of A. What is the formula? Favorable upon total. Favorable outcomes, that means number of outcomes which are in favor of A. N means total outcomes which are there in the question, that means sample space. Okay, and those outcomes should be mutually exclusive, equally likely, and exhaustive. I will tell you this with the help of example as well. Okay, and before that there are some points to be remembered. First of all, you will get this answer in the interval 0 to 1 only. See, when you get probability as 0, that means impossible event, it cannot happen. When you get probability as 1, it is sure event, that means it is going to happen for sure. And generally what happens, you get the answer of probability in 0 to 1, that is greater than 0 and less than 1. You won't get the probability greater than 1, you won't get the probability in negative values. Okay, because it is measurement of chance. So 0 to 1, 0 and 1 are the extreme values. Then what else? You might also have learned this result, that probability of A plus probability of not A is 1. That is quite obvious, because see, if I write PA, I say that probability is M by N. So if someone asks what is PA bar, so you will say those elements which are in sample space but not in A, not in favor of A. So that will be N minus M, because total outcomes are N and M are in favor of A. So against A will be N minus M upon N. When you add these two, no, you will get 1 as the value, because denominator is N and numerator will be sum of M plus N minus M, which will be N only. So their sum will be 1. That is why we say that probability of A plus probability of not A is 1. You might have even used this result. Then there is this result. If a coin is tossed, n times, then number of outcomes. Can anyone tell me this result? Like, see, if you yeah, please proceed. 2
raised to n.
Yeah, correct. 2 raised to the power n. That is absolutely correct. Others also listen. See, if we toss a coin one time, we get two outcomes, 2 to the power 1. Two outcomes means, when I say two outcomes, that means total number of possible outcomes. So two outcome means head and tail. When we toss a coin two times, we will get four outcomes, 2 square. Put value of n here, 2. 2 square, 4. And what are those four outcomes? HH, TH, HT and HH. Okay, or TT, whatever is remaining. Then if we toss a coin three times, the number of outcomes are 2 cube, 8. They will start from HHH and will end at TTT. Okay, so you can remember it like this: 3H, then 2H, then 1H and no H. So you'll be able to write those 8 outcomes. And likewise, now if someone asks, if I toss a coin 10 times, write the total number of outcomes. Not exactly right, just find the total number of outcomes. So you will write 2 to the power 10, that is 1024. Just like coin, there can be a question on dice as well. If a die is rolled n times, okay, then can anyone tell me number of outcomes?
So 6 raised to n.
Yeah, 6 raised to the power n. See, when a single dice is there and you roll it, you will get number of outcomes 6 to the power 1, and they are 1 2 3 4 5 6. When you roll a dice two times, then number of outcome will be 6 square, that is 36, not 12. Because if you have remember that sample space for two dices or a dice rolled two times, so the sample space is like 1 1 1 2 1 3 up to 1 6, then 2 1 2 2 up to 2 6, and it will end at 6 6, and you will count, they will be 36. Similarly, if you roll a dice three times, okay, So sample space will start from 1, 1, 1 and will end at 6, 6, 6. They will be 216 outcomes in all. Or you can simply remember 6Q. Okay, so these are the general results. Then finally, the last point. If odds in favor of A, because I am using this term because they ask the question like this only. Remember this term. If odds in favor of A are m is to n, then probability of A is m upon m plus n. See, what is the meaning of odds in favor of A? This usually happens in betting or something. Okay, so like m are in favor, odds in favor of A means m are in favor of A and n are against A, right? Odds in favor, remember this. Odds in favor means they will give some ratio, like odds in favor of A are 2 is to 9. What is the probability of A? So answer will be 2 by 11, because favorable are 2 and total are m plus n. Remember this, total are not n. So this ratio, okay, like 3 is to 2. Odds in favor of India 3 is to 2. So 3 in favor, 2 are in opposition. So what is the probability of winning of India? 3 by 5. Okay, like this. Then similarly, sometimes they give the opposite ratio. If odds against A are m is to n. Please note, odds against A are given. Now since odds against A are given, so this time against A are m and in favor of A are n. Remember this phrase and this ratio. Okay. Now if someone asks you what is PA, so answer will not be m upon m plus n, it will be now n upon m plus n, because these are the number of persons against and they are in favor. Okay, so it will be favorable upon total, so n upon m plus n, it will be like this. So remember these last 2 points. Okay, odds in favor, odds against. Now it is time we solve some questions based on the concept studied so far. Okay, so we start this first question. 3 coins are tossed once simultaneously, that means at the same time. What is the probability of getting exactly 2 heads? At least 2 heads and at most 2 heads. 3 parts are there. Solve it and tell me what are your answers. Yes, anyone?
So the answer will be in fraction form.
Yeah, definitely. So what is your answer of the first part?
1/8.
3
No,
upon
1 by
8.
2.
Let her speak, let her speak. First answer?
So 3 upon 8, right?
Yeah. First is correct. Second one, have you calculated second one?
1 upon 2.
Yeah, 4 by 8, no? 1 by 2. And last one?
7 upon 8.
Yeah, all three are correct. Good. Okay, so 3 coins are tossed simultaneously, okay? 3 coins. See, try to understand this thing. Either you toss 3 coins at a single time, once only, or you toss 1 coin 3 times. Sample space wise, it will be a same thing. Okay, 1 coin 3 times or 3 coins 1 time, right? What you will get? You start with 3h. You get head on all the 3 coins. Then fix 2h. After 3, you go on reducing number of heads. So 2h can be written like this. Then one head. Okay, one head. So this is one head, and finally no head means all 3 are tails. Okay. So this will be the sample space for this experiment. 3 coins are tossed simultaneously. Now we can solve this part. Probability exactly 2 heads. Probability of exactly 2 heads. Just count where you are getting 2 heads. So 2 heads will be getting in second, third and fourth sample point. And how many are there in all? 8. So 3 by 8. When we say probability of at least 2 heads, okay, at least 2 heads. At least 2 heads means either 2 or more than 2. So more than 2 can be how much? 3 only, right? So for at least 2 heads, for second part we have these 4 as the favorable outcomes, and this will be reduced to 1 by 2. Okay. Third one is probability of at most 2 heads. See, what is the meaning of at most? At most means there can be maximum 2 heads. The condition is on the maximum part. Okay, there can be maximum 2 heads. So that means there should not be 3 heads or more than 3 heads. Okay, so what are the favorable outcomes? See, all these are favorable outcomes. In all these favorable outcomes which are covered under this red line, either there are 2 heads or 1 head or no head. Okay, so at most 2 heads. That means not more than 2. So what will be the answer? Favorable upon total, 7 by 8 is the answer. Okay, this is the way to do it. Let us take the next question. A card is drawn from a well shuffled pack of 52 cards. What is the probability? What is the probability that it is, and then there are parts. First, a red face card, a black ace, a red card or a king, and fourth one, see, I am writing one term here, code card, a new term for you, and I'm writing the meaning that it is another name for face card only. Okay, so remember, if they ask you code card, you understand that it is face card only, right? Solve these questions.
Excuse me, sir.
The
Yeah.
aces and face card is different.
One at a time. Yeah, you speak first. Yeah, what you are saying?
So for the third one, it's like, is red card and king included
No,
in
and
that?
is not written. And is not written. Or is written. No. So you have to read it or only. And will be
Okay,
different. And will be a different question. Or is a different question. Okay.
okay, sir.
Yeah. Now, what was your doubt?
So face card is different from ace now.
No, and on if you have seen the deck of cards, no, there is no face on this ace. Face is there on jack, queen, and king. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Ace, they simply write A, but when they write J, Q, and K, no, there are some pictures there. Some faces are there.
So no, because in another book I had seen it's written as that is also a face card.
No. So you can check it anywhere. You can have a deck of cards or you can check on Google or anywhere else. Okay. Ace has no face. Simple. So what about first answer?
Sir, 2 upon 13.
This you are saying for red face card. 2 by 13. See how many, let us see how many red face cards are there. 6. Red face cards are 6, right?
Sorry, sir, I made a mistake.
Yeah. Division you might have done the mistake, right?
No, sir, I
Red.
included ace in face card.
No. That I'm telling you, no. See these Jack, Queen, and King. Only faces are there. Ace, there is no face. All right. Now try to understand how many face cards will be there, which will be red in color. 6. 3 of heart and 3 of diamond. So favorable are 6 and total are 52. Now you can simplify this. So this will be 3 by 26. Okay. Now second card. Second point. Anyone?
So
So
1
1 by
by 26.
Yeah, 1 by 26. Because see, there are two black aces. One is of club, other is of spade, right? Two black aces. How many are there total? 52. Denominator you will get 52 every time. So 1 by 26. Now who can give me the answer for the third part?
so 7 by 13.
7 by 13.
7 by 13. Yeah, that is correct. Because see, here we are going to write 28 by 52. You know why? How many red cards are there? 26, right? How many red cards are there? 26. 13 heart and 13 diamond, right? And now there are not 4 kings. There are only 2 kings. Why? Because 2 kings you have already counted in 26 cards. And which are those 2 kings? King of heart and king of diamond. So how many are left now to be counted? Only 2 are left, not 4. If you write 30 by 52, that will be wrong. It will be 28 by 52. Okay. And finally, face card. So for that we have already discussed. How many face cards will be there? 12. Right? 3 of each suit. So total will be 12. 12 by 52. You can simplify these terms as well. Okay, this n by 13. And when you divide this by 3, this is 4. Sorry, by 4 you divide. So this is 3 by 4 you divide. This is 13. 3 by 30. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you. Next question. This I am taking from dices. 3 dice are thrown together once. What is the probability of getting a total sum of at least 6 on the top faces of these dices, on the top faces of these dices. See, when you throw dices, no, 3 dices, the least sum will be 3. 1 plus 1 plus 1. And greatest sum will be 18. When there will be 6 on all the 3 dices. Now what is the question? They want the sum of at least 6 on the top faces. So it will become very difficult to directly count, because sum of at least 6 means you will count those cases where 6 will be coming, like example 1, 2 and 3. Then sum of 7, sum of 8, 9, 10 up to 18. It will become very lengthy. So what we are doing, we will use this result, that probability sum of at least 6 plus probability sum less than 6 will be 1, right? Sum less than 6 will be 1. Why? Because PA plus PA bar is 1. So instead of finding sum of at least 6, what I will do, I will write it like this. 1 minus, I can't help much right now because everything is same. Just check from your side. Am I audible to others also? Or same problem? Anyone else? Please confirm. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now to find the probability that the sum is at least 6, what we can do? We can find it in this way. 1 minus probability sum is less than 6. This will be easier to count. Why? Because the least sum is 6, 3. And we have to find those cases where sum is less than 6. So what are those cases that we have to find where sum is 3, 4 and 5? So for sum 3 we have only one outcome, that is 1, 1, 1. Now for sum 4 there will be 3 outcomes. It will be 1, 1, 2, then it will be 1, 2, 1 and it will be 2, 1, 1, right? Now for sum 5, outcomes will be 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1 and 3, 1, 1, right? Anything else? Sum less than 6, so sum can be 3, 4 and 5. Any other case remaining? Because how many outcomes we have? 7. 7 outcomes are there.
Could you please explain again, sir? So from the sum part, sum is equal to 3, 4, 5.
That I am writing. How you can get sum as 3 on 3 dices when all the dices are showing 1 on the top face? How you can get 4? How can you get the sum 4 when the 2 dices are showing 1? Okay, two dices are showing 1 and one dice is showing 2.
Give me
So
some.
there can be 3 ways. Yes.
So 1, 2, 2.
1 to 2. Yeah, that is that will be coming in sum 5. No, that is what I was saying. If anything remaining. So in sum 5, 1, 1, 3 is there, 1, 3, 1 is there, 3, 1, 1 is there. In one way also, in this way also we can get 5. 1 on first dice and 2, 2 on the second and third dice. Then 2, 1, 2. And what else? 2, 2, 1. So how many outcomes are there where sum is 5? 6 are from here, 3 from here and 1 from here. Okay. So now you try to understand. We were required to find the probability that the total sum is at least 6. So I told you, you write this result. How? PA plus PA bar is 1. Okay, so I have to find PA. So that can be calculated as 1 minus PA bar. So if A is sum of at least 6, if A is sum of at least 6, so what will be A bar? That sum is less than 6. So sum is less than 6 means sum can be 3, 4 and 5. Why? Because we are throwing 3 dices and in each dice there will be at least one number, cannot be less than 1, right? So if there is 1 on each dice, so what can be the minimum sum? Minimum sum can be 3, right? And sum should be less than 6 in A bar, so it can be 3 or 4 or 5. So I have written the corresponding sample points corresponding to the sum 3, 4 and 5. For sum 3 we have 1 sample point, for 4 we have 3 sample points, for sum 5 we have 6 sample points. Okay. Now we write this result finally. What is the probability that sum of at least 6 will be there on the top faces? It is 1 minus probability sum is less than 6. So for less than 6, how many favorable outcomes are there? 10. And what are the total number of outcomes? Total number of outcomes will be 6 cube, because 3 dices I already gave you the formula 6 to the power n. So how you will write the answer? This is going to be 206 by 216. On simplifying you will get 103 by 108. This is the final answer. I hope this is clear to you. Okay, then I'm going to take the last question for today. Rest will continue in the next class. And see, if you have any doubt in this chapter, this limits and derivatives from your book, you can ask me in tomorrow's class. Okay. So a card is drawn from a pack of 52 cards and a person bets that it is a spade or an ace.
So how did 6 cube come?
What happened?
So how did 6 cube come over there? 10 upon 6 cube.
Where were you? Are you present in the whole class?
So no sir, my net is not proper. So it gets disconnected again.
So I told you this thing, no? When you roll n dices simultaneously, what are the total number of outcomes? 6 to the power n. So how many dices we are rolling here? 3 dices. So what will be the total number of outcomes? 6 cube. Like that. Okay. 1 dice, total outcome 6. 2 dices, total outcome 6 square, 36. 3 dices, total outcome 6 cube. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So in the question they are given 3 dices. So 6 cube will be there in denominator, and numerator you write the favorable number of outcomes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. All right. So this is the last question. Solve it and tell me what is your answer. This is the question.
Is it 25 by 26?
25 by 26. No.
Is it 9 by 13?
9 by 13 is also wrong. Read the question. Odds against is winning this bet. You have to give the answer in ratio. Odds against his winning this bet. So what if you are giving the answer like m is to n, no? So m will be the outcomes which are against him. M will be the outcomes which are against him, and n will be the outcomes in favor of him. Against him, they are not asking the probability. What they are asking, odds against, and n favor of him. This will be the answer. So how many outcomes are against him? So he is betting that it is spade or an ace. So if it is spade or an ace, that will be in his favor, and the remaining cards will be against him. So spade or an ace. Spade or an ace means, again this odd word is coming. So 16 will be there. Why? How many cards are there of spade? 13. And out of 13 cards of spade, one is ace, right? One ace is included in a spade. So how many are remaining? How many aces are remaining? 3. So 16 are the cards in his favor, because he is betting on those cards only, no? So spade or an ace means 13 plus 3, not 13 plus 4. So how many cards will be against his winning the bet? 36, because total number of cards are 52. So this is the answer. Now if you simplify it, this will be 9:4. So if someone gave the answer 9 by 13, maybe you were giving the answer of probability. Here the odds are asked, not the probability. So I hope this question is clear. So we are going to solve some more questions in tomorrow's class. Then there is this addition theorem of probability and some results related to it. Okay. So 2 more turns. This chapter will be continuing. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, both. And if you have any doubts, ask from limits and derivatives. Solve questions now. Okay. Do not wait for your school exams to start and then you will be solving the book. Solve it now and ask the doubts. That's it for today. Thank you.
Thank you.